Want to know how we make our famous scrapers? Then watch this video to find out. Hello there. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how we make our famous shirt scrapers. These have been really popular since we released them, and although we've sold out at the moment, I mean each batch sells out normally within a day or so of release, and although we've sold out at the moment, I'll be releasing some new ones in the not too distant future. But in the interest of our principle here at We Fix Kids, not only do we want to offer you the ability to buy them or the possibility of buying them, but also we want to show you how to make them. If you want to make one yourself, then you can make one. And this video will show you how. Now, I want to explain how we came to this as being the best tool for the job. Before I do that, I'm going to show you where we started. So this is an old credit card type thing, plasticky credit card. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a little bit of VLR to the front of it, as you would do, as would happen if you were using it as a scraper on a shirt. And then I'll give it a minute or so, and you'll see why it's not a very good idea. So back to the scraper. We sourced or bought some standard paint scrapers, but what you can see is they have very, very sharp edges. So what we thought was, maybe we could round off the corners, and then when you're scraping, it doesn't catch the shirt, because that's what was happening when we first started this. You go like that, and the corners would scratch a shirt. So I thought, well, maybe if I just cut the edges off. So I cut it at a diagonal, started using it. Was a bit better, but it still left you with a bit of a sharp edge. So then I thought, well, maybe rounding it off would be better. So I'll show you how we do that. Now, before we do that, if I can just show you, I mean, look, this is how thin the material is on one of the scrapers. It can get very sharp. My thumb is testament to the fact it can get very sharp, so you have to be careful with them. But if I go back over to the credit card and show you the difference in depth, so 1 second. If I just wipe off the VLR, before I show you the depth, let me just show you. I don't know whether you can see, but look, already you can see that just putting a little splodge of VLR on this has started corroding it, and that's after one bit of VLR. So that proves, or that kind of illustrates the point that using plastic as a scraper, I wouldn't recommend it. You can do whatever you want to do. What I do is I don't use plastic, because not only will it corrode, but you'll get colour. It'll come off of the plastic and it'll go onto your shirt. So I don't recommend you use a credit card or anything non-metal. And then if we look at the depth difference, I don't know whether you can see, but the scraper is, I'd say, about half the depth of a credit card. And that's really important, because it means that you can get right underneath any of the artifacts that you're trying to remove, whether it's a name set or a sponsor or a badge, whether it's flock or vinyl. Honestly, these, I don't mean to shout my mouth off about them, but these are brilliant. And we created them because nothing else exists like this on the market. Maybe there'll be an abundance of people who copy it now, and that's fine. But I just wanted to kind of prove a point that there was nothing else that I could use. I've gone through the process of using a teaspoon in the past, but again, what you're kind of scraping off congeals on the spoon, and it becomes a bit of a nightmare. You could try using a knife, but you need to make sure the knife hasn't got too sharp an edge and needs to be very thin. So there's other things you can use if you want, but I promise you, if you use one of our scrapers, you won't regret it. But anyway, this isn't a sales pitch about the scrapers. This is aimed at showing you the logic behind them and how we make them. So what I'm going to do is I'll take you over to the bench and I'll show you what we do to make them. And at the end of it, we'll have another scraper. So come with me. So over on the workbench, what do we need? We need a clamp. This one's an adjustable one, so you can move this multi-angle. Line that back up. I use a Dremel with attachment, so you get a bit more flexibility. Got a set of tin snips. I'll put links to everything in the description. We've got a buffer polishing attachment for the Dremel. We've got a standing attachment for the Dremel, a 1/10, a permanent marker, thin point, and last but not least, safety first, got some goggles. So, first things first, I am going to mark off the rounded corners using the penny. So let's make sure you can see. So just using the pen, going to round it off. And so it's just a little bit. Make sure both ends of the penny, the top and the side, touch the edge. Then let's do the other side. So here we go. Won't need the penny anymore. So as you can see, we've got marked and marked. Next thing, with the tin snips, you just touch along the edge. Nice, clean cut. Now, also just kind of round off the edges. And on the other side, just round off the edges. So what we have now, don't need the tin snips anymore, them out of the way. What we have now is pretty much two rounded corners, but they're a bit sharp, a little bit jagged. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in the clamp. This isn't the optimal angle for doing this. I've had to change it for the filming, but it worked for the filming. And you just put the standing bit into the end, nice and tight. Put my goggles on. Good job you can't see me because I look rather silly, but I'll look even worse if I've got metal in my eye. And let's just make sure that's on. Right, okay, so we then turn it on. Let's start out here. Listen to me. I'll turn it off. And now let's do the other end. We'll do it like this. Here we go. On and just from that. There we go. So that is now rounded off. So we haven't finished yet. Now we're going to change from that bit to the buffer bit, and what that will do is give it a nice polished and smooth edge. So put the buffer bit in. Like that. We've got to do both sides of it. So that's the first edge done. As you can see, it's nice and smooth and rounded. And now let's do the last edge. And yeah, you have it. As you can see, it's a nice, rounded off, smooth, no sharp edges. So you can now run that along a shirt and not be worried that you're going to snag it. It's still sharp, so you still could cut yourself just because it's quite a sharp edge, but you shouldn't be damaging the shirt. So there you go. There's your finished article. If you've liked this video, please remember to click like and subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section. If you want a scraper, contact us at WeFixKits on Twitter or on Instagram, and we'll sort you out. Thank you very much.